Wrecking Ball Talk with Dirty D.
All right, here we are, Wrecking Ball Talk. It is November 18th. God, I need to read a calendar before I start these shows. Anyway, we're here with Dirty D. That's the one that's looking confused over there on the mic. Jerry Warden. And who do we have over here?
I'm Nikki McKibbin. Woohoo!
Get up on the mic, Nikki.
I'm here.
You can move it.
It's like a big black dick in my face. I'm not used to this. Sorry.
Yeah, it took me a while to get used to that sort of feeling.
Jerry. I was going to say
Dairy.
Daryl and Jerry at the same time. I called you Dairy.
Rockin'.
Jerry.
Hi, Daryl, man. Miss you, buddy.
Hi. What's Lou doing?
I was trying to tell the people on the old feed that there's a new feed because they're like, hey, on the old
happened? Right.
So, yes, thank you. If you're tuning in, this is Wrecking Ball Talk, and the guest today is Nikki McKibbin. Yay! So, Nikki, if you don't know, is one of my personal local favorites.
Aw, thank you.
You're from Grand Prairie, and I'm from Grand Prairie. So when I saw you on American Idol, like everybody did, I was like, hell yeah. And then you had that kick-ass hair,
Right?
you know?
My bright red short hair. Everybody's like, why don't you do that again? I'm like, dude, I'm almost 40 years old. Like, seriously, leave me to my hair color. Like, you know, it was the first thing that I'd ever done was color my hair red. Because I wasn't allowed to cut my hair or anything when I was little. So I went to cosmetology school, and literally on my 18th birthday, I cut all my hair off in a swing bob. I dyed it platinum blonde, and then I did like purple over it that I mixed up in school.
Wow.
Sweet.
My mom was not happy with me at all.
Oh, you
Those
give her any
things weren't
more?
quite as common, then as they are now.
That's
too.
true. That's true.
So I said, you know what? That's my girl, because you could sing. You can sing.
thank you.
So I was like, hell yeah. Voted all the time.
Right, me too. People at the house thought I was crazy. Like, I'm literally sitting up in the mansion, like, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm like, leave me alone in the kitchen. I'm sitting in the kitchen. You don't need this phone. You don't need to call your mom. Leave me alone. I'm voting for myself. And people thought I was crazy. I was like, I don't care. Like, what if it's that one vote, right?
Yeah. That's the last thing you want to do is if I would have just done that.
Right. I'm like, hey, I'm in California, dude. Like, we got Texas cell phones. Like, I got a big advantage here.
And then you came in third.
Should have got a bunch of burner phones and just went down the line.
Right?
Well, it was cool. It was kick-ass. I loved it.
You know what I'm talking about,
And
Jerry.
So, where in Grand Prairie are you from? I mean, it's not like it's like so big, but
605 San Carlos.
My grandmother actually has lived in Grand Prairie. Like, actually, both my parents, both my sets of grandparents have all lived in Grand Prairie my whole life. So, like, South Grand Prairie over by Warrior.
Yeah.
And then my mom was a Grand Prairie Gopher. So that's what, like, the neighborhood that my grandmother lives in. Yeah. So.
SGP.
Right?
Told you about throwing up those gang signs.
This is my only gang sign I know. Warriors,
It's like
bitches.
almost like the Hutchison Chaparrals, right?
I thought y'all were doing something else over there. Never mind.
It's a W.
That was a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
So, Nikki.
Yes.
Hi, Jerry.
When she pulls out the index card.
Oh,
just
I'm
stare
in
at it.
trouble,
Yeah.
right?
Let me say hi to
That means
Jerry
she
real
actually
quick.
prepped.
I know, it's so funny because she's like, I know you're so private, but like if you'll give me a list of things that I can ask and that I need to stay away from, like I'm literally an open book. Ask me what you will.
So-
Girl crushing she is, man.
Careful what you wish
Yay.
for on that
That's
one.
all right. I've been on Howard Stern.
When you watch porn, what exactly do you do? No, I'm just playing.
Which categories do you favorite the
Oh,
most?
I was like totally ready to answer that.
Okay, go.
Girl on girl.
Oh, okay.
Right? Girl on girl.
There you go.
That'll get you going real quick.
No microphones involved.
I used to have a boyfriend who was an IT guy, and
I was about to say that he was a girl.
no. So he was an IT guy, and he would watch what I did, and I didn't. He would just. I was on the network, and so he just basically monitored everything that I did. Well, girl on girl, right? A little
Right.
quick girl
I
on
mean,
girl on
come on.
girl, and get your shit going real quick. So one day, and I don't even know why or what was going on, but he's like, "Are you a lesbian?" And I'm like,
What?
why the fuck would you ask me a
Right.
question like that, right? Like, you're my boyfriend,
Right.
and I like dick, so why would you ask me that? Well, hello, because he was monitoring my shit.
Yeah.
So the girl
crazy.
on girl porn, and all of a sudden he thinks I'm a lesbian.
But see, I've watched girl on girl porn. I'm not a lesbian, so
Right,
But
exactly.
you are a lesbian because you do love women.
I do. This is
Well,
true.
you guys all think
Damn
your
it.
dicks
I've
are
learned.
so pretty.
I've learned something about myself.
I
just
mean,
now.
and they're just not like 99% of dicks just aren't the prettiest things in the
Oh
world.
no, they're horrible looking
so
creatures.
It's not cute.
and
Balls,
it's-
Well,
yeah,
I don't even. Look
balls
at
are
my,
disgusting.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I have to put on sunglasses when I masturbate because I don't even want to look at it.
there you go. See,
It's that bad.
it's not just
And
us.
squirrel balls.
Squirrel balls.
You ever seen a guy with real squirrel balls?
I don't know what squirrel balls
Oh
are.
my god, they're the ones that
Share.
hang like this. It's like
Oh, they're not nuts you put in your cheek.
Guys have squirrel balls and girls have squirrel brains.
Ooh,
Jerry Warden right there.
Jerry Warden. Words
I
of
guess
wisdom from Jerry
only
Warden.
girls with squirrel brains like girls with like guys with squirrel balls.
Okay, so let's get back.
Yeah,
Right.
So on that subject,
You had a question?
Yes,
That was
Nikki. So before you did American Idol, did you do a show called Pop Stars?
I did.
And how'd you get into that?
Oh my goodness. I don't even remember how Pop Stars came about. It was just an audition that I found out about when I was like running karaoke, like right when I first started doing karaoke. And I found out about the audition and went and did the show. And of course, Nicole Scherzinger, who's a judge
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah.
like one of the
She
big
was on
shows
X Factor
right now.
for a little while.
Pussycat.
Pussycat Dolls, yeah. She was actually in that group.
Oh wow.
And amazing. And I don't know if you know Camille Guadi, who, do you watch Scorpion?
No.
Okay.
I've been told I need to watch that. They said it's actually.
Well,
pretty
she was
decent.
Meg on Scorpion, and it was cool to me because she was also on Pop Stars with me, one of my best friends. I got like the top 26 on that show, but it didn't go anywhere. It also originated in the UK, I think. But
So you had to fly over there.
no, it was here. It originated
Oh.
over there, but they did an American version of it.
Oh,
just
okay,
like
okay.
with American Idol. Before
thought you
that,
were
they
on
did
trip.
Pop Idol. So
I gotta move this thing. I cannot see.
Say, I can see her fine on the
Sorry.
camera, but
right, I'm a little bitty thing.
Look at Jerry. Jerry.
Digging it, man.
Jerry's way
he's just
over
watching
there.
it all go by.
No, man, I'm listening to Nikki's stories. I'm not quite sure about the pop star thing, man. And that was a great question. I'm in my mind's going, when was that? You know?
That was 2 years before Idol, so that was 2000. It was the very first reality show I ever did, and I've done like 20 since. But it was the very first thing that I ever did, and I actually met a choreographer on there. His name is Travis Payne. He was Michael Jackson's choreographer, but he changed my life. And when I did Idol a couple years later at the finale, he came to see me, and it was like the coolest thing because he just like, listen, I don't dance. I mean, I used to strip for a little while, but like I'm not a pick up on dance moves kind of girl, you know, I just never have been. And so I can sing, but like the dancing that comes along with it, I'm no good at it, just total trash. And like they were putting together a girl band and I just sucked for the role.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like it was called Eden's Crush when it ended.
That sounds very familiar to me
Right.
for
Get
some reason.
over yourself
Information
good about
overload over here.
Yeah.
That's why
I've
I
heard that
came out,
name.
man.
Yeah, well, that was Nicole Scherzinger's first
Oh, that's
group.
probably why I've heard that,
Probably
yeah.
why, yeah. She always amazed me. She could sing like Snow White. The most beautiful voice I've ever heard in my entire life, and she's so nice.
And she's hot.
Beautiful. And she's like the whole package because she can dance her ass off too.
Yeah, she definitely can.
I love dancers. Wish I could
So,
dance.
Me
obviously,
too.
many times in your career there were folks who wanted to put you in that type of situation with Britney Spears type of thing or Christina Aguilera where you had the whole production and the show dance.
Yeah, either dancing
Yeah.
and pop music or like with Clive Davis after Idol. Sorry, RCA. Country. Well, you're a Texas girl. You're going to sing country. And I was like, oh, no, the fuck I'm not. You know, like, I felt like I'd be, like, letting my fans down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Why would I sell out and do country music? I don't have any fans in country music. I actually got kicked out of Knoxville, Tennessee. I was doing a show there, like, judging a contest. And they didn't just, like, put me, like, in the hotel back home. They put me on a plane and sent me back home after a live television interview because they were like, you were the devil. But I mean, listen, in all honesty, like I was I hadn't slept. Like, I was doing a lot of drugs and stuff back then. So they were like, "You think that was a good interview?" I was like, "Yeah, I think it was great. What was the matter with it?" And they're like, "You're going home, bitch."
Do you really think that went well for you?
Take her ass straight to the airport.
Yeah. And it was Clive that wanted you to do country then.
Yeah, Clive Davis with RCA.
Golly, man.
Yeah.
Cool. You've met like a lot.
Now,
of
were
really
they trying to
interesting
write
people.
songs for you, or are they trying to get you to write country?
No, they did write a couple of songs for me that were good songs, but my thing is like, I started out listening to country, and I was, the kind of ropers and.
What was some of your first artists you listened
I
to?
know her family.
I want to see what generation of country she came in on.
Well, listen, in 1997, I did my very first show. This was long before all of this at Johnny Walker's Country Revival or whatever.
Arlington, Texas.
Yeah.
It's not Johnny Walker, you silly girl. Johnny Walker is the
Johnny
liquor
Walker.
man.
What is it? Johnny Highs.
Johnny
Highs
Highs.
country music.
Johnny
Sorry,
Walker
Johnny
Red,
Walker.
yeah.
She was drinking Johnny Walker while she was there, but she was.
Probably
She-
not back
she-
then, but
Yeah. She's not drinking it now either now.
no, I did drink 2 bottles of Johnny Walker Blue. That's probably my brain.
Jerry's trying to help her out.
My
She's
husband
auditioning
Scott.
at Johnny Walker's. That
Oh
was
my
great.
god, it was so terrible. He was so mad at me because that's expensive shit, and I went through it. I was like, and I drank everything too before I resorted to drinking that Johnny Walker Blue. But like Leanne Rimes was a kid; she was young
Yeah.
when I was doing shows there because it was in '97. Garth Brooks, I love George Strait, Reba McEntire.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Have you got to meet Maren Morris yet?
That's so funny. Maren, I actually met her when she was very young. My husband and her dad are very, very good friends, and they have been for years.
Righteous.
And she was, before any of this started, where she got so famous, and I'm so proud of her.
Grease Monkey.
So proud of her, yes.
And Johnny Walker's.
But Maren...
Drinking Johnny Walker's at Grease Monkey.
Right. Maren, actually, I met because her dad knew that I was on Idol and knew that I was married to who I was married to. And so since my husband and him were friends, he wanted me to come out and see what I thought of her and all of that. And she did this really amazing song when I first met her at someplace in Addison, I think, called Marie Laveau. It's a really cool song, and she just kicked ass at it. And I was like, oh my God, if she's got any to do this in life, this is exactly what she's going to be doing. So I'm so proud of her. But I've known her since she was, I think, preteen at this point.
Yeah.
I partied with her dad before too. He's a cool cat, man.
Yeah, so nice. They actually, her dad actually came out to my show at Grease Monkey this past weekend.
that's where I partied with
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Lots of folks hang
So cool.
at the Monkey.
So you have a band.
I
now?
do.
Rugburn.
Rugburn.
Who's in your band?
Chris Zativa, who is also in another band called Zativa Kid, and he owns Zativa Studios, where I practice in Arlington.
Wow.
Jack Porter is
Black Jack.
Jack is my bass player, and he's
Cool ass
amazing.
dude.
Yeah, he works at the Grease Monkey in Arlington, and then, he calls himself Father Mackenzie. His name is Doug. I give him a hard time. He's my drummer. I call him either DJ Dougie Fresh, or now since this weekend he's gotten Doug Rugg. Yeah, from Rugburn, Doug Rugg.
Doug Drug.
Yeah, so much fun.
You know, I've known all them cats probably since before you were born.
They're all very old.
Yes, yeah. I know Doug, Dougie, Mackenzie.
So they're such cool guys.
So I was looking up some stuff, and I was telling Lou that you had some stuff with Rivethead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. That's the first stuff I did was with Rivethead.
Love
My
Rivethead.
How did
very
you run
first
into
album.
them? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They snatched you up.
No, I'd known Steve. I know for years because of being out on the scene and stuff, just doing local band stuff.
Do you remember Squeegee?
Squeegee?
Yeah. It was kind of the precursor to Rivethead.
I thought, he's
Was
talking about that
Derek
guy
in
from
that?
Do I?
Laverne and Shirley.
Derek in that? The bass player from Rivethead?
I'm trying to remember if Derek was in that or not. Steve was in it for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know that the way that things got started with Rivethead was they were doing the music video for You're So Cold.
Okay.
And it was 2006, 2007, maybe a little bit earlier than that. But I already done Idol, and I was just hanging out in the local scene in Dallas, and I think he asked me to do like the main characterization part in that music video. And so then when I needed a band to do my first album with, and they did my entire first album with me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
In 2007, it was released. It's called Unleashed. But yeah, I just asked them
want
to
a
do it. I
copy.
love their sound.
I do.
You know,
I do. I love them.
Yes, so cool, so different. The guys are so nice. Kevin, Mark, Steve, Derek, all such super cool guys. And I think I was like, you know, hanging out with Billy when we were doing Skull Diggers, and Rico and Scott Minyard, you know, that was years ago. So that was all around the same time. I think it was coming up guest spotting. I'd written a song for the Skull Diggers, and that's how I kind of got into the scene. I'd just come out to shows because that's what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't want to sing country. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. Like, I wanted to be the lead singer of a, like, male-backed band. That's just what I wanted. And so that's kind of how I stepped into things.
So you never had an interest in doing a girl band?
No. I mean, like, I don't mind, like, with LSD, like, having girls in the band, like, playing bass.
Hi, Holly.
Yeah. Hi, Holly. And then we had Wynn, who stepped in the second coming of LSD, but, you know, it was just
When is the third coming, dear?
but no, not of the bass players. We only had Holly and then Wynn.
Of LSD. When is that third version coming?
Well,
I know y'all
listen.
sneak around and jam from time to time.
we sneak around and jam from time to time, but here's the deal. Like, I love those guys, and, you know, we have a lot of fun together, but, you know, it's just, Billy and I clash, you know. But we almost got married, and so, like, that's the whole thing.
So y'all clash like a married couple. then?
Yeah, we totally clashed like a married couple, like, you know. And so it's just something for a long time we couldn't get over it. And I literally threw them all out the first practice. I did.
Really badass.
I was like, no, y'all got to go. Like, I'm not doing this today. But it took us a long time. It wasn't really until, you know, Billy lost his mom that him and I had something to really rebond over and, like, kind of have something to center ourselves around and be kind to one another about, because I'd lost my mom so many years before that, and I could empathize with what he was going through. And so, you know, and what happened this time around was, like, there was nothing. Holly didn't want back in because there was, you know, she thought there was going to be too much animosity and fighting and stuff like that. There was really none of that. And Wynn is an amazing bass player. She actually plays a stand-up bass, like acoustic bass, which is phenomenal. And we were, like, not we teaching, because I can't play shit but the trumpet. But we're teaching her how to do electric bass. The boys were. So it was her first experience with that. So it was really cool. But, you know, we just, Billy got signed with Junk, and he was doing a movie called, was Cherokee Creek or something about Bigfoot. Yeah.
Just right now, right?
And so he just kind of slipped into doing things, you know, with the Junk Boys because they had a career path going somewhere. And so that was fine with all of us, you know.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah. He writes amazing music. And, I mean, he's
He's a badass, man.
No, he's great writing
Billy
music.
Blair. Hello out there,
Lyrics.
Billy Blair.
Not so much. I've rewritten every song that we've
Not you,
ever done
Rico. You
together.
suck. But Billy Blair. Yeah, right on, baby.
Oh my gosh.
But it's amazing. We have a lot of fun. Rico's fucking phenomenal, by the
Fucking
way.
helped raise Rico, man, at the Tombstone Factory and everything. I can tell him what time it is.
I've tried to get Rico on, I don't know how many times, when he's with the band, he's not with the band.
He won't come?
He said, well, he's always close. But then the last time.
So you always get him close to coming and then nothing.
Right.
Wow.
I'm talking about getting on the show. I don't know where you're going with this.
That's totally where my brain went, like that
y'all
exact
are
sentence.
Dirty, dirty people.
So yeah, let's play a video, Nikki.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Well, I've got this one here, the Unleashed one that's got kind of a slideshow going on with Rivet Head and stuff. So
Very cool.
why don't we cue that one up real quick? Now, this is a song, Drowning. Is this one that you wrote lyrics to?
No.
Okay.
I don't know that I wrote anything on that. I wrote Naked Inside. Is that on that first one?
I don't know if it's on this one or not. I got the one for Drowning right now. I can look up Naked Inside and see if
Yeah,
I
I think
find
the
it.
Naked Inside is the only thing on the Unleashed album that I wrote. And
Okay.
I wrote it with Billy.
Cool.
So,
Oh,
and
well,
Rico.
there you go. Yeah, of all things.
Yeah, right?
All right. Well, this is Drowning by Nikki here, and y'all take a listen. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. That is right. And that was our guest there, Nikki McKibbin, with
I love your music.
Dallas's own Rivet
Thank
Head
you.
playing
I love your
backups.
voice.
Thank you.
It's really good. I really,
That's got to
really
be a rare CD, right?
Yeah, because it was made like in 07. And so, I mean, I still have some copies of it at home. Like, I always get copies of everything because, like, I want to have them for myself and for friends and family, like, if anybody ever asks. But,
Yeah.
you know, they don't make a whole lot of things if they don't sell very well. So,
So what do you? What local bands do you like?
oh, local bands do I like? I love Rogue Radio. And just because those guys are like all my friends, I love those guys to
I
death.
hate Rogue Radio. Especially that freaking bass player, man. Can't play a lick.
What's his name?
Yeah. Ken. Lies. You're so full of it.
You know,
He would do me the same way, though, Nick.
I know. Like, listen.
Jerry just got on here first, that's all.
well, Harley Storm was going to try and come in here
Aw.
today.
Harley didn't
Her
make
and
it.
Mark Sharrock. He said that they are fans. Love
Aw.
you, know you. Mark, Harley, Deity of Destruction.
I love Nevermind the Darkness. I don't listen. I'm so bad with band names. So bad with people's names. I have an eidetic memory, which means photographic memory for people that don't understand that or know that. But you're the only person in here that I was talking about, Jerry.
I felt
Just kidding.
I felt it, man.
But
That was aimed towards Jerry.
because I keep like pictures of people and pictures of everything in my brain and like numbers mostly, I can never remember somebody's name. And, like the worst thing I think that ever happened to me in a situation like that was
No, it's okay. I do that. I really do. I've interviewed some people and I run into them, you know, like at Reno's or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, and then I'm like, oh shit, I should know you.
Right? I know you from somewhere, but I can't place it.
And it's only happened to me once, and I'll never forget him again.
Oh my god.
Love you, Los.
Listen,
I've
it
had that
happened to me with
happen.
like one of the most famous people ever, and I just about like shit myself when it happened. Sorry, am I allowed to cuss? Because
No. We've been
well,
bleeping you this whole
well,
time.
I don't know.
Deet, 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 deet.
Right.
No.
No,
Just
you-
checking.
Yeah, you can say whatever shit you want.
Okay. Yeah, no, I did it with Tracy Morgan.
What?
Oh my God. Yeah,
Whoops.
it was like the worst day of my life. And thank God my husband was there. But like, we were passing one another and we were like at the Saddle Ranch, which is a cool little restaurant on Sunset. in
Before
LA.
accident or after accident?
Before.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say after. He probably, you know, you could have got away with it.
He stopped and said, he was like, hey, it's my birthday. How are you doing? And I was like, I'm great. Happy birthday. I'm Nikki. He was like, I fucking know who you are. And so I panicked immediately and I thought, oh my God, I've met this person. I've spent time with him. Like maybe I've done a show with him. I've done like so many shows. I'm supposed to know who this is. And so my husband like comes over and I wrap my arms around his neck and like very softly in his ear, I was like, I don't know who the fuck this is. And he was like, oh my God, Nikki, that's Tracy Morgan. And I was like, the comedian? And he was like, yes. And I was like, fuck.
Could be worse. You
Yeah.
could have called him something way wrong. Just like, Charlie Murphy, how's it going?
Yeah, but it's worse to like introduce yourself to somebody and then be like, I fucking know who you are. Like, you know, especially if you've known him for like 15 years. I did that with Gary Busey. He stared at my tattoo for like half an hour. I saw him at a horror convention or something. Then I was going to see a couple of friends
Did you
at
say horror convention?
horror.
Oh, okay.
Whores,
Well,
yes.
it's Gary Busey. You never know.
Right,
So-
totally true. But he stared at my tattoo for like 20 minutes, and he was like, "Why does that look so familiar?" I was like, "Fuck you, Gary." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "I fucking lived with you for like 2 months in Pasadena doing Dr. Drew's show." And he was like, "Oh my God, my Yellow Rose of Texas." That's what he always called me. I don't think he remembered anybody's names ever. But like, I sat down beside him and it was like, you know, I'm in a dress, and he like puts his hand like right in between my legs, and I'm like, okay, all right, I love you, Gary, but not like that. Not saying, listen, with all the stuff that's going on, not saying that at all. Like he was not like overly affectionate.
I think we got a scoop.
Yep, here
No,
comes the
no,
article.
Sorry, Gary Busey.
There
He
goes
was just
Gary's
on Howard
career.
Stern.
Was he?
I was listening to the replay on the way in.
No, he's amazing.
He is pretty fucking kick-ass. Oh my God, he's got a book coming out, and they talk about all these. Like he's a musician. He's got a band, and it talks about all these bands that he's played with and everything.
Yeah, we watched the Buddy Holly show or something with PRC, and he was was like amazing. And I was like, wow, you know, I didn't really know any of his work before I met him. And we all thought he was kind of crazy because he was like, I'm just here to be a mentor. I don't have a drug problem. And we all thought, you're a fucking crazy person. But that's really why he was there. He was literally just there to be a mentor.
So I saw a picture on your Facebook with Steven Adler.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love him. He looked beautiful in the picture. He's doing good?
Yeah, no, he's amazing. He actually played on one of my songs that I recorded, I think, when we were at PRC. It was sad. I met Steven because of Celebrity Rehab and then moved on and did Sober House with him. So we were living together for about 2 months at that point.
Oh, nice.
And I recorded a song while I was in rehab while I was in Sober House called Inconsolable.
Yeah.
And it was actually
I love that song.
Yeah, we actually played that a little bit earlier while we were killing some
It's
time.
actually about a little girl who I did the Make-A-Wish Foundation for that I also like wrote a book about and stuff like that. Her name was Tylee. And people thought that it was from my mom. And my mom had just passed away at that point. It had been maybe like a year, if that, maybe 6 months when I went to rehab. And the day that I went in to record the song, my best friend passed away. Wow. And so it was like heartbreaking. And people in the house were like, are you sure all this shit is going on? You know?
It's a beautiful song.
I love it. I did not write it, but I sent in like some poetry and stuff and said, this is what I want to write about. And that was the song that they sent me back. So
I did. We should play it.
it's amazing.
Which one? Inconsolable? Again?
Yeah.
I
Make
can bring
me
it up.
cry.
I got Cry Little Sister queued up. We can play that in a second
my
if you
gosh.
want to.
That's
So what's the story on Cry Little Sister you're talking about?
We actually did. I did Cry Little Sister with Rivethead because we were going to, and this is a horrible experience all in all, like afterwards. And the guys will know exactly what I'm talking about because it was just a clusterfuck from start to finish. But we did it because we were going to the boardwalk where that show was filmed, Lost Boys, right?
Yeah, Lost Boys.
And so we did that, and I think we cut it like in 2/3. It wasn't the whole song, but it was really cool. I was doing a radio interview, much like this one day, and they were doing music trivia with me, which I fucking hate because I can't ever remember like the name.
Let me throw these cards out.
Right.
Just kidding.
I can't remember, like, here, name this song. And I'm like, I don't know. I can literally sing every word of it, but I could not tell you who sang it or what the name of the song is. And so they got to the third one. They were like, we're going to let a caller call in, right?
Oh, God.
And we're going to let him guess the next song. And when they played Cry Little Sister.
Okay.
And the weird thing about it was actually Gerard McMahon who had written the song, which was so cool. But, like, I was in shock. Right, because at that point, like, I'd talked to some famous people, and I'm kind of in shock and, like, you know, stuff like that. But it was crazy to me because he's like, hey, Nikki, I just want to say that, like, I love what you did with my song, and thank you so much. And, like, so many people have redone that song over the years, and he had never thanked anybody or told them they'd done a good job. And so here he is talking to me on the radio, and I'm like, and he's like, can you hear me? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just kind of fucking in shock, dude. Like, I don't know what, like, thank you. Like, I don't know what to say.
That's a big compliment from the songwriter himself.
Huge compliment,
Yeah.
right? Especially to cut the song down, like, into such a short little piece of it when we did it on the album. And then it was really cool because I found out a couple of years after that, or it might have been a few years after that, that Corey Haim actually had my version of his MySpace. That'll tell you how long ago it was.
Good old MySpace.
My
MySpace.
version on his MySpace page when he passed away.
Wow.
It was so cool.
That is cool. Well,
Rest in peace, Corey.
Yeah, let's put that on and take a quick little music break and let people hear it. Awesome. So here is this is her version of Cry Little Sister
With
It's good.
Rivethead.
with Rivethead.
Yeah.
It's really good.
right, that was "Cry Little Sister" by Nikki McKibbin, and yeah, I like that version.
Thank you.
It was good. I like that. Yeah, definitely.
I, for one, would like to hear Nikki McKibbin do a metal album, man. Now, you know, she wouldn't do that country album for Clive, so I doubt I'm going to get anywhere with this metal album, you know, pipe dream. But I went on record. I love metal.
You ought to ask her next time you
And
see her.
Do you not feel like LSD is at all metal?
Yes. They're hard
I was
rock.
like-
Hard rock, though. Hard rock, cuz. Metal, though. I mean, metal.
Well, find me a band. I'll record you an
We'll
album.
just get
We'll talk about
You
that.
pay
we'll just
for
get
it.
Coil back together. We'll just back her up and let her sing.
There you go.
This could happen, young lady. Don't
Yeah.
think it could.
Oh my God, if I had a band that already snatched you up, I'd be like, I got her.
Right?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I call dibs.
I'll tell my guys. We'll write some stuff for her. I got no problem.
See?
I listen. The way I like to write differently than most people. I understand some people do it like this, but like I like to hear the music
And then put lyrics to
and
it.
then put lyrics to it.
That's actually what we usually do. Yeah.
right, because for me it's like I've got 10,000 pages worth of poetry, and I've never been able to put them to lyrics.
It's really hard to
never
do
been
it the
able
other
to put
way
my
around.
lyrics to music ever. But if I hear the music and the melody of a song, then it's like, oh, okay, this makes me feel this way.
Yep.
This makes me want to start talking about this. Like, oh, here's a line. Oh, I got this. Not like a line in the song. You realize, but it's like, you know, oh, I got this now, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how we do it. I've had people come up with lyrics and go, "Can you put music to this?" And it's
No,
really
it's
hard
so
to do it the other way
hard.
around. Yeah.
Right, because you don't know what they were feeling when they wrote those lyrics down.
And even the rhythm patterns. You're
Right.
like, okay, what's the rhythm pattern you're trying to do here?
Right. So crazy to me that anybody writes any other way than that. But it's not normal, apparently.
I have the benefit of actually being the main guitarist. Well, not the main, but the rhythm guitarist and the vocalist, so I can actually drive the songs
There
to
you
like.
go.
I can't sing over that part. All right, I'll just rewrite it.
Right.
Well, okay,
crazy.
Nick. I got a question for you now.
Okay.
Again, I'll just take over this.
Go
interview.
ahead.
No, but really,
It's not my job to interview.
Words
Might
with
have
Jerry.
to
You,
cut his mic in a minute.
we
Not hearing you there, Jerry.
hang on now. You know, talked about you doing a metal album there a second ago, and
right.
one of the original metal bands, and a lot of these kids don't even realize they were once metal, but AC/DC. Malcolm Young, the rhythm guitar player at AC/DC, died
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
which really
That
sucks.
sucks really hard.
Did you ever dig into AC/DC, man?
I love AC/DC.
Yeah.
But I didn't until I was older. Because, like I was saying, you know, when I was younger, all I did was country. And I enjoyed it, like, when I was younger. But the problem was, like, I was kind of conditioned to do things that way because of my parents and my upbringing and stuff like that. And so when I turned, I think I was 17, when I had a guy who was like, I need you to run my karaoke business for 2 months. And I want you to, like, come in here and be yourself and sing your own stuff and stop talking like a robot and don't dress like that and don't act like that and don't talk like that, you know, because I was trained about corporate business, like where karaoke was concerned. And so I heard somebody, like, literally, this is the craziest thing, but I heard somebody do You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette. And I fell in love with that song. And I was like, oh my God, like, what kind of music is this? Why have I never heard this before? Why have I never done this before? And so that was my thing, like, transitioning into Idol. When Clive Davis was like, you're going to sing country, I was like, no. And it wasn't no because I didn't love country. I love country, but it was like, you didn't give me a weak option of doing country where I could have showed people what I was made of, right? And like, this is not, I don't want to be, I would rather, and I say this religiously, I would rather be poor and happy than rich and miserable doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather play a show that's going to pay me $5 at the door and that's it, and enjoy the music that I'm singing, than get paid $10 million to hate what I'm doing.
Ooh, I might
You've
have to
always
think
said
about
that.
Diana's like, well,
I don't know.
Right, but
how
see,
rich are we talking?
Well, they offered me like a 6-album deal with RCA.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And so when I got out of that contract, still, like, it was worth so much that it was like they literally paid me off $500,000 to get out of that contract. And that was after my lawyer's fees and everything else. So that's
Nice.
what they put back into the bank for me after all of that, because I was like,
Wow.
I'm just not doing that. And it wasn't that I didn't love country. It was just I'd made so many fans being who I was on Idol. I was like, I don't want to sell out and, do something that I'm going to be miserable with, no matter how much money it makes.
Well, yeah,
It just
especially with
wasn't
music,
important.
because they'll call you out when you're faking it. too.
Right.
So,
Okay, we're gonna play a game here.
Uh-oh. Shit.
We're doing
It's
Scrabble.
easy.
Because I kick ass at
Suck it,
Scrabble.
It's easy.
Twister?
Okay.
You know why? It's easy, huh?
Twister? No.
Yeah, we're
Name
gonna play
that
Twister.
lesbian porn site. Just kidding.
Who is Tory Lane?
Is this on Pornhub or X Hamster? You tell me.
That's right. It's really easy because
Okay.
you know the answer. Hello. I'm just gonna say two things, and you just pick one, but you just say it really quick.
Okay.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Jerry, I got one for you too. Look at Jerry.
I'm terrified.
And we've lost him.
He's all like, woo. Okay, ready? Hollywood or Texas?
Texas.
Dallas or Fort Worth?
Oh, Fort Worth.
Colt or Sig?
What? Oh, shit. Colt, because I have a 1927. I don't owe a SIG.
Told you I knew her answer.
Big trucks or fast cars?
Fast cars.
Chick flick or horror movies?
Horror movie.
Hard or soft?
Oh, what are we talking about? Hard.
Bagels? I don't know.
Pink or Gwen Stefani?
Pink.
Thongs or panties?
Thongs.
American Idol or The Voice?
Idol.
Tequila or vodka?
Whiskey.
Tats or no tats?
Tats.
Steak or chicken?
Oh, chicken.
Mexican or Italian?
Oh, Mexican. I hate Italian.
The Rock or Vin Diesel?
Oh. That's
Choose
a
your bald
toss
guy.
up. Like, I don't really care for The Rock's acting, but Vin Diesel, I met him and he's not neither.
No comment.
Neither.
I played the fifth on that one. Like on Bravo.
Toys or no toys?
Toys.
Pornhub or X Hamster?
Pornhub.
Shaved or unshaved?
Shaved. Laser hair removal. Full body laser hair removal.
Wall or no wall?
What? Oh, no wall.
And that's it.
Okay.
I was trying to be nice. I was like, I can't ask her like all kinds of crazy ass.
Oh, you can ask me whatever you want to. I told you I'm an open book. I know you were all like in the beginning, like, I know when you sent me the messages, you were like, I know you're a private person. I'm like, I'm a fucking open book. Seriously. I've always been an open book, and it's what's gotten me, like, I guess it's what's really kept me alive through all the shit that I've been through in my childhood and stuff like that. I'm just, I'm the kind of person that at 5 years old, if something was going wrong, I would stand up and scream it from the rooftops as opposed to, just letting it pass me by and not informing people of what was going on. Now, most of the time they didn't listen, but still, I've always been an open book. I'm totally honest.
So I saw you were on, or it says you were on Fear Factor. I couldn't find that episode. Yeah. What the hell? Was that with Joe Rogan?
Yes.
I cannot. Did you have to eat anything weird?
I did the
What did
second.
you do?
Oh my God. I did the second installment of reality show stars of reality TV.
Who was on there with you?
Oh my God. Okay, so it was Ethan.
Probably Tracy Morgan.
No,
That's where he's from.
it was Ethan Zahn and his girlfriend from Survivor. Riken, I think he was on The Biggest Loser. Not The Biggest Loser, sorry. Like the
Something to do with losers.
No, the game show that you run around, The Amazing Race.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And then the other guy, Ethan Riken. I don't
Right now, it sucks
remember.
to be that other guy. It's like, oh, I'm the other guy. Thanks.
Oh, I think he was the guy from The Bachelor, maybe. God, it was so long ago. He actually won the whole thing, which pissed me off.
Ah, well, yeah, screw him then.
And then Omarosa.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Based on that tone, I don't
I
think
know.
that part went well.
Omarosa.
That was the first show I did with her. I did another one, and it didn't go well either.
So is she really a cutbag like she appears to be on TV?
I tried to punch her in the face and got tackled on several occasions.
Shit.
So,
Good
you
shit
know.
right there.
yeah.
She's an angry little person.
So what they have you do?
Let's see. The first thing that we did was there were 2 helicopters. They were 35 feet above the ocean floor, which fucks me up both ways because I'm scared of heights and the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And there were 9 flags on a rope, and the rope was not taut because the helicopters were holding it, right?
Yeah.
And so there were 9 flags. You had to crawl and get the flags, and I think he won. I think it was like $20,000 or $25,000, whatever was the first prize if you won that. Like it was a bonus thing or whatever. Because we got paid like $5,000 for doing it. And then, so the first girl went first and she got like 4 flags or something. And then Omarosa went and she got 6. And so literally I went and got to the 7th flag and wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to lose because I needed the money. And I got to the 7th flag and pulled it and like, dropped off like go and flipped her off on the way down. But it tore my arms and legs up because the rope was not taut the entire time.
Yeah.
The second thing that we did was, oh my God, we were handcuffed on one, like I think it was my left arm that was handcuffed to a pole that went from one side of this thing to the other. And these are the only 2 ones that you can see, like Nikki McKibbin Fear Factor Part 1 and Part 2. Those are the only 2. But the second one is there's a plexiglass box, right?
Okay.
And it's filled with snakes. They're boa constrictors. And this is the stupidest fucking thing. I don't get this. Like, I'm like, yeah, they're full of, snakes. And I stuck my arm in on one side and unscrewed the nuts and bolts and pulled the key out. And then my arm on the other side and unscrewed the nuts and bolts and pulled the key all the way out, right? Because you had to unlock a thing full of earthworms on the next path, right?
Okay.
And the
It's a
question...
very phallic challenge altogether.
Right, but the question that everybody asks me, now tell me if you don't think immediately this is like the most ignorant thing you've ever heard in your entire life. Like, and I'm sorry, anybody and everybody that's ever asked me this question, but it's so crazy. Oh my God, were they poisonous snakes? I got bit 13 fucking times in 6 seconds by poisonous snakes, and I'm still fucking alive. Like,
You should just go with it.
Baby,
Hell
right?
yeah, they were.
No, I mean,
Nikki,
it's
were they
crazy.
deadly snakes?
Were they poisonous? Were they like fucking black mambas?
Did you die?
Yeah, right.
Did you
the
die?
craziest thing for people to ask. Like, I don't understand. I don't even understand where people's mentality is when they're like, "Oh my God, were they poisonous?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Yeah, it never fails. If
So
anybody
how
asks me
was-
something that's stupid, I'd be like, yes,
Right,
they were.
but I got the key out, pushed the worm from one side of the box, the other with my face. Had to pick them up, spin them into a blender, get the blender to a certain height, blend them up, suck them out of the blender, spin them into a tube, get a key that was on like a floating thing up above a line on the tube, get the key out when it got to that red line, unhandcuff myself, and then get into a literal dumpster. One of them big blue, like Dallas
gosh.
apartment complex dumpsters full of earthworms and mud, and get a canister from the bottom of, I think it was 6 or 8 ounces of like ground smoothie type earthworms and drink it. And I was like really sick and I was bleeding everywhere because I'd been bitten so many times.
By those venomous snakes.
Right, but it was poisonous snakes. And then the third one
No, it was the venomous earthworms.
Right. The third one was like a cage and it had locks in one corner and it was like half under a pull and half not. And so the cage started rotating. And here's what I asked, because I'm not a dumb girl. Right? My brain kind of works in crazy ways. So I was like, wait a minute. It's like, I need to be in this corner, right, where these locks are, because they put us facing forward. And, obviously the locks are in the corner at like 90 degrees. And I'm like, can I like wrap my hands around this corner, because you had to unlock 4 locks and the lock was on your wrist, or the key was on your wrist, but the locks were up the side of this cage. And I was like, can I stand in the corner and wrap my arms around, like hold myself in the corner of this cage, right, so I can get to the locks, no problem. And they're like, you cannot put any part of your body outside of the cage. Well, what I didn't realize when they answered that question, because I was frustrated, was there was about a 6-inch space where they had an extra bar in between the outside of the actual, like where the outside bars were and the inside of the bars were. So I could have done it. And it was the only way they got through it. It was the only way that the people that made the actual stunt itself got through it. That's how they did it. And so I asked the right question, but I asked it the wrong way. And I was the only person that asked it. So nobody else got even as close as I did. But that's what happened. And then the last thing, we were driving a race car over a moving ramp, right? And so the ramp was attached to a car. So if you can imagine like a race car in front of me. And so for 3 passes, I'm going up and over this race car and hitting the brakes and getting back behind it and stuff like that. And then the 4th pass, when it hit this line, it started to swerve. And so what happens is I get over this fucking thing like 3 times, right? And I go up the 4th time and the kill switch disengages from my car. But it was no fault of my own, right? And so what I learned at that point is how like fucked up this whole television show was.
Oh, that's when you realize.
It wasn't the
Yes.
snakes and the earthworms. It
No,
was this
because
moment.
it was like they were like, if it's no fault of your own, we'll let you redo it. And so I thought, okay, well, I mean, like that takes a lot of adrenaline to drive over a fucking moving ramp.
a little bit, yeah.
But here was the issue. It started moving at the fourth pass, right? Nobody else had made it to a fourth pass. And the problem was that apparently that show only insures you for one full pass through the stunt. So my kill switch came disengaged from my car. And I'm like this, right? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? My car's not going anywhere, right? So I didn't even know what had gone on. And I thought they're going to tell me it's not my fault. They had me pulled over for like 45 minutes. And they were like, no, something malfunctioned. It wasn't your fault. We're going to let you do it again. But here's the deal. All that fucking adrenaline and shit that you built up over the first 3 passes, you're going to have to like junk that because you're only going to get this last pass through this stunt. The fourth pass that you didn't complete because you're not insured otherwise. And if you die on the first 3 passes before we let you do this fourth one,
that blows.
we're all fucked. Like, you know, and so I was like, oh my God, okay. Well, of course, like I got stuck on top of the thing because it started to pitch right as I started to go over it because I had no adrenaline. None of that stuff was going
all your
anymore.
momentum shot.
Right. After being pulled over for 45 minutes and I got to the top of it, my wheels went off. And then the kid that won it,
The other guy.
yeah, he actually went up and over it and like came tumbling off of the
damn.
top of the thing. So he made it maybe 6 inches further than I did, but that 6 inches allowed the front tires, which was the mark, to go over that pass, which made him win instead of me.
So 6 inches.
Yeah.
6 inches will do you in sometimes. You gotta be
Means
careful.
a lot, see?
You get some
6
guy to
inches.
just
That's
comes
like
out
a
there.
normal white boy dick.
Yeah.
6 inches.
So there you go. Yeah.
She said
you
it.
lost it by a normal white boy.
Yeah. I lost to a normal white boy. That was the advantage. I didn't have a dick. He had the extra
Exactly,
6 inches.
see?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I lost.
So Joe Rogan, what you think about Joe Rogan?
I love Joe Rogan.
I know.
He's amazing. He's a really cool guy. But, you know, I love him as a comedian, as a radio host, the shit that he does now, like where he's talking about, you know, the conspiracy theorist shit.
Yeah. I love his podcast.
I love it. Yeah, he's so much fun.
Yeah, those are really good. Those are really interesting. There's people, I don't even know who they are, but you start listening and you're like, oh, okay. And he's a thinker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
But you wouldn't think that when you watch just his specials, you know, like his Netflix. You're
Well,
just like,
his
oh, he's a comedian. But
His latest one, he kind of goes a little more
fucking
philosophical.
smart.
In. Yeah.
I love it. He's
Well, and he's not afraid to admit if he's wrong. Like there was something recently that he did. It wasn't like flat Earth, but it was something really stupid like that, like Bigfoot or flat Earth or something that I don't remember what it was exactly. But he was like, you know, wait a minute, like I have a different thought about this whole situation now. You know?
Yeah.
So he's not afraid to admit if he's wrong about something.
And see, if
or
more
he
people would
feels
do
like
that,
he's
it would
wrong
go better. Because so many
Yeah.
people try to like just dance around it when they're wrong. They're just like, "Oh no, I meant something else totally.
Right.
That's not what I was talking about."
The Earth is flat because, like, if you put a poster on the wall of the Earth and it's flat, like, if you look at the globe, like, I fucking read something the other day that was like something about a flat earther who said, you know, something about like referenced the globe,
Oh yeah.
like a circular fucking globe.
I read something about like flat earthers from around the globe came to this meeting or
Yes!
something. You're like,
Oh
going,
my
what?
God,
Did
like,
y'all
what
read
the
what you
fuck?
typed?
So stupid. Oh
yeah,
my God.
I remember reading that, laughing my ass off about
Right.
it.
So tell me about Howard Stern.
What about Howard?
What happened? I mean, that's pretty
it's
fucking
just-
cool.
It was a long time ago, and I mean, like, I'm kind of a shitty, sarcastic person anyway, so it wasn't that bad. For me, like, most people are like, he's aggressive, like, sexually, and he says shit that's mean. And, like, I've had other, like, local stations here that were, like, way worse than he ever thought about
I'm
being.
guessing you talked to Russ Martin or something. That would be a yes.
You know who hated me, which I found really funny, and she was so stupid about it. Like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to say this. But Kelly Raspberry, the whole time I used to do like spots on the Kid Craddock show.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't fucking listen to local television. And she's like, that girl's a bitch. I don't fucking like her. And so, like, the first time I went in there and she said something really nice to me, I was like, don't fucking talk to me. I was like, dude, I'm like, all the fucking time you're like, that girl's a bitch and she shouldn't be, and, you know, she shouldn't have beat Tamira and she shouldn't have been in third place. I'm like, right. She's like, no, I didn't say that. I was like, bull the fuck shit. I was like, fess up to it. What's the fucking issue? Like, if you thought I was a bitch, fine. Like, I can be a fucking bitch, right? Like, all women are bitches at some point and all men are assholes. Like, I fucking get it. But don't call me the fuck out on the radio and be like, this girl's is a bitch. And then let me get into the studio and you'd be like, no, I really like you. And I didn't call you a bitch. I don't know what you're talking about. I fucking hate that.
Fucking Kelly Raspberry.
Right?
Well, I thought that was pretty cool. Did you get to go into studio? Like, I'm just asking. Howard Stern, I fucking love Howard Stern. So I think that would be the coolest thing ever. Or was it on the phone?
No, it was just a phone interview. It was pretty.
But still, like,
Yeah,
hello,
I mean, like, it was a
Howard.
long time ago. So,
I love it.
and let me tell you what sucks the worst for me. Like,
What sucks the worst for you?
Listen, I'd have totally done this because of the money. Like, listen, for sure. When I was on Idol, I found out that they were like accepting and rejecting offers. Like Catherine McPhee, who's also on Scorpion. She did like the Lost Wife of Robert Durst or something, which is a really cool show about a guy who like keeps murdering people. He's a serial killer or something. But she's a really cool chick. And from what I understand, when she was on Idol, they were like, you need to leave and come do television. And they wouldn't let her. And so for me, especially in season one.
Idol wouldn't let her? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so for me, from what I understand, now that's just rumor.
Because they had all those
industry.
contracts by then.
But for me, the truth of the matter was, Hugh Hefner approached Idol and offered $3 million for me to do Playboy, and they turned it down for me.
Would you have done it?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it before then.
Yeah.
You know, like if you can airbrush the stretch marks and stuff out, like from the baby, like I'm totally down. And I knew they would. Like, I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah,
you know,
Playboy's
those girls
known
are
for that.
nowhere
Yeah.
near perfect. You know, that's the shitty thing about like body shaming and stuff like that. Like those girls are nowhere near as perfect.
Right.
They looked in magazines, and like they fucked up a lot of shit in my magazines. Every time they did a magazine thing at me, they, you know, airbrush out my stretch marks. Like I've always worn like a half shirt and some like hip huggers. I don't give a shit. Those are my battle scars, right? I got a 20-year-old, amazing, confident, wonderful son. Like I don't give a shit if I gained 85 pounds when I was pregnant with him, like and what it did to my body, right? Like I was never shy about going on like actual television, and y'all see this a million times on Idol, in like a crop top and some pants, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with that. Like, I'm a mom. I'm the oldest kid on the show. Like, if people can't understand that, oops, I have stretch marks, then fuck off. Like, I don't really care about the body shaming stuff. But, like, I totally would have done it. I would have done it back then. You know, I would have done it for several years before that. And I would have done it for several years after. It was just irritating that they felt like they could make that kind of decision for me because it was what was best for the show, like without
Yeah.
even telling me about it. You know?
Probably signed some contract somewhere along the line that allowed
Listen.
them to be able to do that, though, right? Or of course, you would have some sort
I
of
don't know.
recourse.
We signed before
There's a
they even
lot of
listen
gray
before they
area in
even let us
entertainment.
into the top 30 to audition. They had us sign like like fucking Scientology bullshit, like a $1 billion year contract. Right.
Of course,
It
and
was like-
it got worse as the years went on. You were just on the first issue.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they had it to the T by the
Yep.
time.
Yeah, it was a
Chris
well-oiled
Dick-
machine
Catherine
by the
McPhee,
time,
got around. Yeah,
season 15 was coming on. And like, listen, my son auditioned from the time that he was 15 on. I didn't want any parts of it. He's a good-looking kid. I mean, he's beautiful. I mean, I think from the time that Amber Smith, who was a model on Celebrity Rehab, I think my son was 8 when I went on that show, right? And she's like, oh my God, he's beautiful. He needs to model. Like, I had known about the rumor in the industry about the pedophilia.
Yeah, I was
and
going to ask
Yeah.
you about
sexual
that.
assault and
about,
stuff like that. And
show
I was
business.
like, I don't, and I kept telling Tristan, my son, I was like, I don't want, and so listen, if it was his dream, it was totally his dream at 15. That's what he wanted to do. He insisted that mommy teach him. Sorry, son. He insisted that I teach him. He didn't want another teacher. I'd been through it. He wanted that experience. And I wanted to keep our relationship as mother and son the way that it was. I didn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to say if anybody, you don't have to say any names or anything, but when you were out there in Hollywood, did you get sexually harassed by the uppers, producers, anybody who's wanting to get you to do something?
There's a lot of that goes on, and so there was a lot of it that I'd heard of. But I think in my case in particular, from the time that I did Pop Stars in 2000 until I did my last reality show in 2015, I was very self-aware because of the things that I had been through personally in that realm of things in childhood into preteen. I knew already, and so I took everything that was said to me very seriously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't allow myself to be bullied into situations, and I didn't allow myself to be put into situations. There was actually one time, that's not true. That's not true now that I think about it. There's one time that before I met my current manager, Joe, there was a guy, and his name was Lawrence. I don't remember his last name, but he was in contact with my grandmother and my mother, and he wanted me to come down to LA because he wanted to manage me, and he offered all of these wonderful, amazing things and showed me a resume, and people let me talk to people that he worked with and stuff like that. So it was really amazing. And so he drove down to Texas, and I got into my car and I drove back to LA, and he didn't let me sleep except for I think it was 21 hours in, that I was so tired that I almost drove off the side of a cliff.
Whoa.
And straight from Texas to California. And I was like, I've got to pull over and sleep. And he really didn't let me. And he let me anyways for about 3 hours. So it took us about 27 hours to get from Texas to LA by car. And I followed him. And when he got me to the hotel that he'd set up for me, it was like some shack. Right? And there's no air conditioning and there's no anything. And I'm a very smart girl. And so what had happened was he put this little 6-shooter revolver down on the table next to me in the case. But I knew what it was.
Yeah.
And he's like, sign this. And I had on a brown, really cool, hippie type of skirt that wrapped around and tied up. So it went all the way to the floor. And I had on a little wife beater that I'd cut off. It was LA and it was summer, so it was hot.
Yeah.
And I had on some some black heels that said bitch or something on the toe, right? Because that's who I am. There's 6-inch stilettos that bitch on the toe or something like that. And after he made me sign this 10-year contract, he asked me to get on the bed and pleasure myself to make sure that I was ready for what was fixing to happen.
Whoa.
And right. And so it kind of freaked me out. And I was like, what? And he was like, well, I want you to get on the bed. And I want you to pleasure yourself. And I want you to, show me, what I can expect from you from now on. And I thought, this is bad. I'm either involved in, some management corporation that thinks that I'm going to screw somebody to get a part. This guy's fixing to kidnap my ass into sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh, mm-hmm.
And it scared me. And so, the first thing that I thought, my friend Courtney, her husband Derek was not in Rivethead with me, not that Derek,
Okay.
but he was in Wicked with me for a little while.
Okay.
And Courtney was my makeup artist, and I think she's in recovery now, finally, from cancer, which is amazing. I'm so glad that she's, getting healthy now at this point. But she lived in LA, and she's the only person at that point in time that I trusted that lived there. And what I said was, okay, I said, well, I'm not sure if I locked the door, right? So give me a second, like, before I get into character and do all of this. Like, let me go make sure that the door is locked so that nobody walks in here and, like, think that something funny is going on, you know? Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, yeah, no problem. And so I got up and kind of straightened myself up and walked to the door. And instead of, like, I reached up to click the door like it was not locked. And, I mean, it was already locked. I was an idiot, but he wasn't that smart. And so I reached up and unlocked the door and pulled the handle at the same time and flew the door open, like ran downstairs. And there was like a little cafe next door. And so I like kind of hid within a group of people at the cafe and called my best friend Courtney. And I was like, you've got to come pick me up. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't care about the shit that's in the hotel room right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where he is. I'm like, but you've got to come get me.
And how old were you?
Let's see, I was 23 when I did Idol, so I was like maybe 25 or 26. I was still relatively young and inexperienced, like as far as people like that went.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, he'd spoken to and met my mother and my grandmother and like my grandfather, like everybody in my family. So it was like, I didn't expect this from this person who had been brazen enough to, you know, speak to my mother on the phone. Yep. So, yeah, it was weird. It was a weird experience, but
Entertainment can be a shady place.
yeah, for sure.
So you know, like all the allegations and stuff. I mean, it doesn't surprise you. Then
It doesn't
everything.
surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me because, like I said, when Tristan was 15 and wanting to go into this industry, I was very hesitant about it because of how good looking of a child he was.
Yeah.
And I hadn't experienced that in the industry, but I had experienced it in my childhood. And so I didn't want to, like, I didn't care how much he wanted to be famous. Like, I just kept saying, please just wait until you're, like, an adult and you're 18. You can make these decisions for yourself. Like, I just didn't want any part of it because I didn't want to have a hand in somebody hurting my son because...
Right.
Yeah, you'd feel partially responsible for it.
No, I'd have to kill somebody. I mean, like, I would feel responsible
strapped.
because I helped put him in that situation, but I would have to kill somebody,
Well, you're responsible and you take care of it. That's
you
all.
know? So...
Understandable.
So let's hear a song.
Right?
Yeah.
Some deep shit right there.
Well, we're almost out of time, so do you want to wrap it up?
Yes, we can wrap it up, and then,
And then
we'll
I'll
play.
I'll play Inconsolable to finish it up
Yes,
with.
'cause I do love that.
I have one more question.
All right, we
One
might.
more
I got
answer.
2 more answers for it.
Uh-oh. I got one more answer.
I
He's
waited
got
a long
two.
time for this question. I'm dedicating this question to David Conan from Arlington Nights. Do you know David Conan from Arlington Nights?
What are you asking?
Was that the question?
No. Okay. See,
Oh,
I
sorry.
only get one.
You've
I
used
only
up your
get one.
questions.
Is the question posed
Well,
to me or to her? Or to us as a whole?
It's to you, Nick.
Uh-oh.
She asked you Fort Worth or Dallas a while ago. I have to ask you Fort Worth, Arlington, or Dallas.
Oh, Arlington, for
Thank
sure.
you very much.
And now that we've cleared that up,
Way to go, kid. Yeah. Yeah.
And in case you didn't know, you can find Jerry Warden
Jerry-
at Diamond Gems in
Jerry
Arlington,
Warden.
Texas.
Right?
he's metal as fuck.
I'm doing my first show at that Truth Vinyl venue coming up too, man. And it's really a cool venue. It's in downtown Arlington, and I want to be more in downtown. I'm going to do some things down there before it's all over with.
What's
But
the
yeah,
location?
Truth Vinyl. It's in downtown. It's a cool record store. The dude built the stage into the place, so he had live music on his mind when he built his room. We're there December 1st. So far, we have the Circle of Peace Band, Hedonistic Punk Vatos, and Restless Highway.
Oh, cool.
It's a cool place.
Well, where's it at? Cousin?
Downtown, man. You
I
gotta,
almost said uncle.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that's
you
how
go-
fucked
you-
up this is in
Uncle
our family.
Jerry, where are you?
Yeah.
at?
No, well,
No,
he's
but
my
you-
cousin, and
but
so
you
like,
don't-
but in our family, it's always uncle and aunt instead of cousin. So that's
Well,
a respectful
Cousin
thing.
Jerry, can you give us the coordinates in
Where is
right
that
down
place?
there, man. It's so cool. I'm.
So you're
know,
trying
I
to
just hadn't talked
so
to
you're
you
trying
yet,
to
but I
book some
wanna-
other Arlington venues? Is that what you kind of expanded into Arlington a little bit?
We've kind of
Yeah, what are you
always been.
doing?
I mean, you live in Arlington.
Well, no, I'm
and
just asking
Jim's
him
is
because
in
if he can,
Arlington.
if
like,
you could
we're
get,
doing things in Arlington. Both
you
of
know,
us,
my band, we're
so.
looking at possibly Cowboy Stadium in Arlington. If you can get us in there,
Yeah, you know, and that's
Cowboy Stadium.
you know,
I
that's,
think we need the fucking Staples Center.
If I'm going to ask,
definitely within the realm of possibility. And then of course, I'll get right on that.
Oh, I appreciate that.
But back to reality, yeah, man. Always remember that.
Step back to
Arlington,
reality.
man.
Oh, there comes the crowd.
Arlington, yes. No, not Fort Worth, Dallas. Fort Worth, Dallas, or Arlington. You got the young lady's answer. So we're cool, man. It's
Well,
all cool.
Arlington for
Hey,
sure. Like I grew up in Grand Prairie, so like I met
JP.
Dimebag in Arlington, even though I thought he was homeless.
Right on.
I did meet Mayhem, who was Dime Security, but my best friend in the entire world at in Dallas at Coyote Ugly, where we worked together for like 2.5 years. But
Oh, girl.
in the clubhouses in Dallas, Diamond Vince's place.
Right on,
You know,
right on,
so.
right on. Do you ever party with Vince any now?
Not anymore. I used to a lot. It was really cool because he's he used to, it's a strip club, and so the girls mostly at the strip club are the workers at the strip club, right?
Right.
Vince is a
And
strip
so-
club kind of guy.
Vinny would be like, "Listen, bitch, get the fuck out of my lap. I'm gonna talk music with Nikki McKibbin. You can't understand this, right?" And so
Get the fuck out of my lap.
Right. And so, he just treated me like one of the boys, which is kind of what, like, everybody does,
We have to go over
I'm
and
kind
hang
of
with you, man.
McKibbin. All the boys call me McKibbin. Zach
Yeah.
Wild calls me McKibbin, which
McKibbin.
is the coolest
We'll
fucking
have-
thing in the world.
Whenever you want to go to the strip club, call me.
Yeah. McKibbin! Like, I'm not
McKibbin's in
Nikki
the
or,
house.
anything like that. It's just McKibbin. All the boys, all the metal boys call me McKibbin. I think it's so cool. I love it.
You should just name your band that. Just McKibbin.
Yeah, but it's so fucking narcissistic
I
and
know,
self-centered.
but just roll with it.
Like psychopath.
Do it.
Yeah.
The psychopathic McKibbins. Sociopathy 101.
Could be like, the McKibbin tones or something.
You just don't know. I'm already working on your metal band in my mind.
Work on it. Shit, let's do it.
Well, thank
ready.
you for.
I'm telling you, I'll whore out my band. I got no problem with that. We have no moral standards.
He's a whore.
I am a whore now.
Oh, thanks. So in order to work with me, you need no moral standards.
No, I'm just saying.
You're
I'm
just
just
saying.
saying, I personally
I'm just
don't.
saying.
Tell him, Nick.
That's what you
right.
just
I
said.
got your
Not
back
that you're.
too, Nick.
I'm just saying. That's
Yeah,
just what I
yeah.
just said. I don't have any moral
there
standards.
won't be any standards in the way. Let's just put it that way. As long as you keep the bar real low and expectations, we'll exceed them.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Keep you at a level 0.
That's
You'll
exactly.
exceed my expectations.
You had her and you lost.
We like to
We
shoot
don't need any
for
fucking
about
morals to fucking
6
play
inches
with
up.
you, bitch. We know all about you.
That's right.
No morals, McKibbin.
There's your new nickname.
Right?
No
Thank you
morals
so much
McKibbin.
for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You're fucking fabulous.
Thanks, man.
All right, and we're
are.
going to close the show with her song "Inconsolable."
Hold on, I wasn't done
Oh.
kissing her ass.
Oh wait, okay. We're not going to close the,
Wait,
so-
I'm
the
going
show
commando.
yet.
If you really want to kiss an ass, I got one for you. Oh, I made her blush.
I was going down.
Oh, I bet you were.
She was going down and coming over.
And we already know the
twice.
porn she watches, so we're already halfway.
I'm just
there.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, for real. No, I was just really. I always thought you were like a cool chick. Like,
Do you
hello.
still think I'm a cool chick?
Yeah, you know
I
what?
thought you
Because I
were,
know
but-
these.
I really thought you were a cool chick until today.
All Grand
And then I
Prairie
met
chicks are cool as fuck. That's how I knew. I'm like, you know what?
This bitch is fucking awesome.
I love her.
Right.
So thank you, and Jerry. Yeah, thanks for coming in too.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, D.
All right. Is well, because
Okay, we're
Jerry's
done.
here. Is there anything you'd like to promote going on this weekend or anything before I close up the show? Because it's Jerry.
No, we
like I
gotta
said,
go.
we have our first show at Truth Vinyl on December 1st.
All right.
Friday night, man. We're going to do this dang thing.
Cool.
And we're going
All
to
right.
dedicate this show to our Papa Roland.
All right.
How sweet.
That's Jerry's daddy, and it's my Papa Roland.
Well, this song goes out
Very
to
fun.
Papa Roland then.
Oh,
Fucking
man.
A. We
Inconsolable.
miss him. No, it's a great song.